Good morning. Happy Monday. It's been a while. I'm back. So I'm just going to adjust this screen because my stand has been dropped down because I was typing and I forgot to put it back up. Sorry, everybody. See me. This is when you think, why did I do the bolts up so tight? Aha, that's better. Nobody wants to see from under my chin, especially not me. Anyway, how have you been? It's been a fortnight since I've seen you. I'm hoping you've had a lovely creative fortnight. What have you been doing? What have you been making? Last week, I had my lovely mum here for the weekend, who might pop up as Andrew Turner in a minute. Good morning, Barbara. And so I spent Monday morning with mum. We had a game of Scrabble, which we used to do. So it was lovely to do it. Hi, Nick. Hi, Mary. So we had a game of Scrabble instead of Monday Mojo. We played Scrabble and then I took mum to the train station. It's horrible, isn't it? I think I told everybody on the Monday evening, if you saw me on Chalmers, that I just hate it. There's just something horrible about taking people to the train station. It just feels worse, you know. Anyway, it was lovely to have mum here. But now since she's gone, I miss her more, you know. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's like I couldn't wait for her to get here because I missed her. And now she's gone, I miss her more. Hey, it's the way it is, isn't it? We just see her in a few weeks. I'll go visit in a few weeks. Good morning, Francis. Good morning, Linda. How is everybody? What have you been up to? What have you been making? Are you Christmas making? Are you Halloween making? What are you doing? Who's doing what? Nick, I saw your amazing skull. I only just commented, but I saw it the other day as I was scrolling through. And I thought, well, I'll wait and I'll comment in a minute, and then didn't go back because I'm really pretty bad. I'm so distracted with lots and lots of projects that I've got going on at the moment. But it's fantastic. And I just thought, because it's really out of your comfort zone, I know you make quite intricate floral nature inspired pieces. It's odd to see you doing a skull and snakes, but I thought that was really brave, and I thought the design was excellent. So great to see it. And his crown worked really well, didn't it? Good morning, Marjorie. How are you? So what else have I seen? Hiya, Bogner. How are you doing? Hi, Nikki. Oh, sorry. Hi, Nikki. You're welcome, Nikki. Good morning, Tony. So, making for Christmas craft fairs. Any ideas? Oh, yes, I do have some ideas. I'm making for not craft fairs, but Christmas sales. So yeah. You're good. Oh, good. I'm glad you're good, Marjorie. So you might see this bundle of, this is like, I've been working on these. I've got a thing next Saturday. You might be able to help me, actually. Can you see all this? This is 7 scarves, some chunky things, some more unusual things. So like, I'm thinking Christmas gifting scarves and things that are a bit more tactile, wintry, you know, for winter clothing. So this is, I bought some headscarves and then tried to incorporate them into some chain. So I've threaded it through, and then that acts as the clasp. Oh, you're surviving. Oh, well, at least there's that. Yeah, so the clasp is actually the tie, and then I just put some nice picked some colors out from the scarf and put some random chunky beads with it. Really like this one. So I've done a few like that. A few with layered and tiered things. Ooh, but loads of scarves. So like making scarf bales and just picking out random things. So these are quite wintry. I think these were really good sellers for me last Christmas. I sold out last Christmas and couldn't get any more scarves in time. So I sort of got ahead this year and brought 2 lots of 6 scarves. So I got 12. So hopefully they will do well. But that's a good Christmas fair type thing, because it's sort of a little bit different to jewelry. People that don't like wearing jewelry might like wearing a scarf. I know in the winter, I wear scarves, but then it's difficult to show your jewelry, isn't it, if you're wearing a scarf? So it's like 2 in 1. But whilst I was playing, I also sort of raided my chain box, and I remember I've got all of this box chain, and I just put this piece together. It's just I was just playing really, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It's not coming across so well on the camera, but it's really nice in the flash. It's like 3 different colors of chain, just sort of a lark's head knot into, I made a loop with some of it, lark's head knot, and then I've just put a pendant on and a bit of a tassel. So yeah, I'm loving this one. It's very, no gemstones though, which, you know, but all the metals, I'd have to fiddle with it to try and get that to sit with the colours all right. Maybe I should have used all one colour, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's quite interesting, visually interesting. Yeah, it's definitely better in the flesh than in this picture. You've got to get, can you see how that's just like a lark's head knot there, and then give it a shake. Yeah, it's not really very good doing this in reverse on the camera. Ah, thanks, Nick. I just like playing. You know, when I got everything out, it was like, I honestly looked like I'd been burgled in here, because when you start trying to make chunky jewelry and big jewelry, you need everything out so you can see all the options. And then it might be you pinch something from that box and something from that box, and so there wasn't a space on the floor. I was like having to tiptoe in between boxes and not fall over and get things out. But that's the only way I can really put things together. I have to see it all together, you know, which is partly the reason I love working for Chalmers or, you know, in the past, jewelry maker, because I was given what I was given and I had to work with that and I had to make it work. And it takes so much time out of the process because half of the process is finding a feel for everything, isn't it? You get a feeling for what you've got rather than a catalogue. You feel it. I loved your spiders in the window of the shop. Yeah, they look cute, don't they? I've got that workshop's really booking up. So I've got 3 in-person workshops scheduled in for the year, which is why I haven't really put any more workshops online out at the moment, because I've been concentrating on that. Also, I've got lots of local events and things coming up. So I'm trying not to overstretch myself. Poor Chris is basically full-time in the shop at the moment while I'm working and preparing for shows and talks and demonstrations and workshops. So it's lovely. I do feel a little bit guilty though, because I get to sit in here and just be creative. There's more to it than that, obviously, as you know, but yeah, it's that time of year. The garden, there's not so much gardening work coming in at the moment, and so it sort of works. Our jobs sort of work in opposites, which is great, isn't it? Because in the summer, I don't get so many workshops and so many fairs and shows, but in the winter I do, and it's the opposite for him. So hopefully that relationship, that balance will work out really well for us both. But yeah, I've really enjoyed getting creative. I had a bit of a cold as well, so I wasn't all that well last week. So yeah, so I had to sort of really push myself to get busy and keep working on things that I could work on. Right then, so what else can I tell? Oh look, I've got this as well. This is you've seen these, I'm sure. They're just like, they're headscarves, and I just thought, oh, what should I do? Shall I have a go at putting some beads inside it? And it is just beads inside the scarf, and then put a bit of wire. Well, there's actually 4 jump rings in between each just to hold them together. But I really like that. I think that's really, really nice. I can imagine just tying that on and wearing it. So again, another simple make, just wooden beads in there. So big wooden beads, unfinished, so not much work involved in that, but a really nice nice little project, or you know, design. Probably quite nice. It's quite chunky bangles as well. Bit small, this one. That's why I haven't finished it, because I'm like, well, what shall I do? How shall I finish this? How shall I finish this? I don't know, maybe a bead cap and chain, or maybe a bit of chain. I don't know. Maybe I just tie it in both sides on a nice chunky chain. I don't know. But another idea perhaps for your Christmas fairs. Who else has got any ideas for the Christmas fairs? For who was it? Linda? Was it Linda who asked? Making for Christmas. Yeah. Any ideas? Any more ideas? Christmas craft fair ideas? People like small giftables, don't they? Stretchies are always a great idea. I don't do them. Do you know why I don't do them? Because they're really gem heavy. So the stretchies are actually quite expensive to make, aren't they? Because you're using half a strand of gemstones, and people don't want to spend too much on a stretchy. So unless you're getting your gemstones at a really great price, or you're not using really expensive gemstones, you know, they do use up quite a lot of your materials. So yeah, stretches are great, but maybe memory wire bracelets, they're always good too, because again, they're adjustable, aren't they? Yeah, they are heavy in gems. Yeah. Memory wire bracelets with the spacer tubes. You know, I'm always going on about spacer tubes. I think I've stocked up on spacer tubes now. I still haven't found any wiggly ones at a decent price, but thank you to those of you that sent me. Ooh, excuse me. Thank you to those of you that sent me links and things. I've found them nice. So if I really need them, I will buy them, but they're very expensive. You know, when you're talking, when you want maybe 30 or 40 for a design, and you're thinking you've got to spend about £30 on that, it's just not going to get your money back. So I'm still holding out for finding them bulk, wholesale, somewhere. Out tonight to a ceramics workshop, Mary. We'll be making Christmas pudding nightlight. Oh, lovely. I've been to the ceramic studio. In fact, I can show you what I made. Do you remember I told you I'd been having an experiment with some clay to see if I could make some components? I've got them back. I've glazed them, and now I've got them back. Yes, but you use a few gemstones there. However, Linda, you can spread them out. So you use your spacer tubes, spread them out. You can also use seed beads as fillers. So this is a real cheeky cheat, mind. So I'm going to tell you this, and I tell you it because I do it. So a real cheeky cheat. So when you're making like a sterling silver piece, and you want to be able to say this is sterling silver, obviously you can't use base metals within it. So instead of using base metal spaces, I will use seed beads. So I can still say this is sterling silver because there are no base metals, but there is glass. So I can say this is pearls and glass and sterling silver, or I can just say it's pearls and sterling silver. And I'm not lying. I've got the look, and I've got something that won't fade either, because, you know, with plating on, you know, if you have a silver plated copper spacer, for example, the plating will wear off, whereas with a seed bead it won't. So it'll always stay silver to match your silver clasps, and you can say you're using sterling silver without having to use all your sterling silver. Oh, that's a good idea. I'll get to that one in a minute. So yeah, so use seed beads in your designs, and they're, you know, you pay $7.99. Very good ones, you know, use a good one, use a Miyuki or something like that, because then you know that the plating or the internal, I can't ever remember what they're called, you know, the plates inside, not on the outside, you know, it's good quality and the consistent sizes, etc. So it looks neat and tidy. But it's a great way of filling the gaps without compromising on the metals. So for example, I ran out of sterling silver spacer beads, and I was really upset. I thought, oh, I'm not going to get any in time, and I've only got today to make these. So bring them all over. I had a pearl day yesterday. Pearls, because I've got to talk on pearls in a few weeks, and so I thought I'll go pearls. So yeah, so I got this piece, and they're really beautiful pearls, really good quality, a good supply of memory wire. Good morning, Mum. There's Mum. Andrew Turner is Sherry. Memory wire, Linda, you get on Amazon really, cheaply and really quickly. You can also get memory wire at Spoilt Rotten Beads. They're really good. And also you can get your seed beads at Spoilt Rotten Beads as well. So one-stop shop. So these are, instead of using silver spaces, I've used tiny size 15 Mayuki seed beads. Mayuki, am I right when I say Mayuki? I think I am. It's been a long time since I've been in that world. Yeah, so there's that one. And then this one was a very, very high-end aquamarine in with these. You see I've got this beautiful aquamarine clasp. It's beautiful clasp. And so I found some very high-end aquamarines to go in there. These are that's an expensive one, that one. So using some of them, like I've got this one. This is an asymmetric one with some tiger's eye. This one was nice. Yeah, so again, this one I used hematite in there, in with the pearls, hematite cubes. They just worked really well alongside the pearls, and then the Mayuki spaces. So again, I could bump that out, spread the pearls out, space them as well without compromising on the metal, and that's how I've got around it. So maybe a little trade secret, an insider tip, but it's a way you might get away with using less, but creating the same look and without compromising what you're saying you're selling. So this one, this one, I'm a bit annoyed at myself with this one. When you make something, you think, what, I didn't make for me there, or what I like there, I made for a wider audience. Do you know what I mean? And you think, I'll compromise a little bit on my design because I wanted this got this gorgeous sort of geode like section of amethyst on, and really I wanted to have that off center. I wanted to have that asymmetric. I wanted it, sort of on the side with the pearls, and maybe, and I really compromised, and I did it central, and I got symmetrical, bits of dogtooth amethyst either side, and it's nice, it's pleasant, and it will probably sell better than an asymmetric one, but that's why I feel a compromise a little bit. Like I kind of thought, so for me, I'm not enjoying that one as much as I should. And I've been saving that little piece of amethyst as well because it's so good. It's such a good piece of amethyst. Look at that. The crystals are so lovely. It's lovely, isn't it? Really unusual. And I feel like I've done a very normal design with a nice unusual bead. So this one might not actually make it to the sale because I might just, as I keep telling myself, compromise Gemma Crow. And then this one's Spinel and seed pearls in between. So you seed pearls as spaces there. That's indulgent, isn't it? But anyway, and then this strand, which I've had for so long, a graduated strand of aquamarine, really beautiful color, this one. And I've had it for so long, never used it, keep thinking I will use it, don't want to do too much with it. So I'm not upset with myself for being safe with this one because this one deserves it. The graduation deserves it. And I've just framed that center stone with the lovely sterling silver bead cap. Yeah. So Gemm, it would never stay on the side too heavy. Oh, it would if I balanced it. Yeah, I could balance it. And you can also put a weight on the clasp so you can help it drop down. So yeah, I could balance it. But I know what you're saying. It is difficult with that sort of thing to keep it, but I got tricks and tips I could use. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But you see here, because I put this one with an extender, I could have weighted that a bit more to make that stay at the back. So it could have. And plus, this isn't actually that heavy. It's not actually that heavy because the pearls are quite heavy. There's a really big pearl. And then I finally used my lovely metallic, my beautiful metallic pearls. And I spaced them with, these are actually sterling silver spacer beads, that's why I ran out, and little brown seed pearls. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, that's an exceptional strand. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to use these metallic pearls. And I've done it. So, you know, I bit the bullet and just use stuff. Because, you know, I just don't like using it, because then once I've used it, I haven't got it anymore. So, loads of lovely pearls. Those are ready for my pearl showcase. I've got those up there. Stay. And then what else have I been doing? Yeah, scarves. Scarves are for a thing I'm doing next week. So next week I've got a talk. Oh, what does it say? Linda, I love pearls. Have some on my stall for ages. Not a good seller. Maybe Christmas coming up. People are looking for Christmas gifts, I've noticed. Yeah, Linda. And I think also people don't associate pearls with anything else, do they? They think of pearls as a standalone thing. So I would say have a pearls section and draw attention to it. Do a little bit of writing about them. Because I think if you just have them mixed in with your general gemstones, people don't recognize them as valuable as they are, and they see them in amongst gemstones. And I think pearls really should probably have their own place. So I don't usually make a lot of pearl jewelry because generally my designs are a bit more contemporary, and unless I've got one unusual pearl or something like that that goes in amongst it, but I rarely make pearl jewelry. However, there's a lot of big pearl fans around here, and I'm going to do a talk on pearls, so I want to show a range of pearl jewelry, contemporary, classic, etc. So I'd say that in mind, Linda, have a section on your table that is just dedicated to pearls. Maybe light it differently, have a different color cloth, so it has its own space to shine, and then people will be like, oh, that's special, and associate it with special. You know, if you think you're going to go and buy pearls, you think you're going to go to the jeweler, don't you, to buy pearls? Like, you don't think I'm going to buy agate, a big chunky agate pendant. You know, you're not going to the jewelers for that. But if you want to buy pearls, you're going to the jewelers, and I think people need to see it as separate, and they feel the value of it a bit more. So try that. Try having a section for pearls, highlight a few facts, put a few quotes next to your pearls, you know, famous people wearing pearls, or pearl history or something, an oyster with a pearl in. Try that as a strategy on your table. See how it goes. How did you string your pearls, Gemma, on silk or threaded material? I've just used a beading thread because I was using spacers, so I haven't done any knotting. I've got one clasp that is designed for knotting, and I will do one classic pearl knot necklace with that, but I just use beading thread and spacers. Probably not the most ideal thing, really, because as you say, if it breaks, you lose all your pearls. So and there is sort of a lovely luxuriousness to pearls when they're knotted. So I will do that, but I haven't done that on those. They're just beading threads. I don't know much about pearls, never confident in what is good quality, etc. How much would you charge for those necklaces? Well, Sarah, luckily I've been researching and can answer your question. I actually haven't priced these yet because I haven't put all the components together. But obviously not all pearls are created equally. I've got some, and a lot of it is about just visually how beautiful is it. So if you have a load of pearls together, you can look at them and go, right, that is A grade. That is the one that's got the most luster. It's more shiny. I can see myself in it. So the higher the luster, obviously, the more valuable it is. And you know, the more clean, as in no dimples, textures, things like that. For classic pearls, if they're supposed to be round or near rounds, that's what you're looking for. But then you've got your Baroque pearls, which are more nacre, so they're generally glossier and shinier, visually more beautiful in terms of surface and shine and luster, but they're priced for their flaws and imperfections. So the more gnarly it is, the more similar in shape to some other object like a heart or a star, then it might be more valuable. So it's difficult, but there's loads of really good resources on YouTube. As I've been making this week, I've just been watching videos to try and absorb information and knowledge. But it is sort of in the eye of the beholder. I'm not confident in pricing either. And without an X-ray, you can't actually tell if a pearl is real or as in completely natural. And any vintage pearls, chances are, like vintage as in sort of 1800s and before, chances are they are completely natural, and then they've got a completely different value altogether because they would have been free dived for. But now obviously with cultured farmed pearls, it's very different, and you then just go by the eye quality. So how beautiful it is, how big it is, and yeah, generally, if it's got a high luster, it's only got a very small nucleus. If something's a bit more fuzzy when you look in it, then it's probably got less layers of nacre, which means it's probably got a large nucleus. So, you know, there's lots of factors that play a part. So, for example, in these necklaces, so I don't remember how much I paid for some things because I'm not very good at keeping records of those things, because a lot of the time they came to me through a show or something, so I don't always have a record of how much things cost, but I can look at my pearls and know in order of value what they are. So I know that this was in my special area in the box. So these pearls, you can see they're quite mirror like. They're not round, but they're oval. Now, you know, ovals are quite desirable as well as round. They're consistent. They got no pits, no flaws. So these are really beautiful. This strand I would probably put this piece, which has got a gorgeous drop pearl on it as well. This one I will sell for around, I think I put about 160 on this one, because that strand of pearls would have probably cost about 40 to 50 pounds. And then we've got these lovely components with it as well. So yeah, so that would be sort of the most expensive pearls, aside from the metallics, which these were about 80 pounds for the strand. I've used all but 4 of them because I've kept a couple for earrings. Now this one should probably have a price tag of around 350 to 400 pounds on, and in a jeweller's window that would be more like 700 to 800 pounds, and that's, you know, that's the truth of it. But it's really hard for me to get my head around because I would never spend it on myself. I'd never buy that, but I'm not shopping for pearls. Somebody who is will. So it's that conflict with yourself. You think, 400 pounds, who's going to buy a necklace of 400 pounds? But people do, don't they? People actually will go, they will buy the same necklace, the same pearls from the same place on the planet, put together in a very similar way with a sterling silver or gold clasp, and they will spend several £1,000s in London on something like this. So you sort of got to get your head out of that area where it's, you know, it's too much to ask. Because, you know, if you put them too low, you devalue them and they don't deserve it. So yeah, it's difficult. I have to tell myself this as well. So it's not like I find it easy to put high price tags on things. I really don't find it easy. But I am sort of learning my lesson. I'm definitely learning my lesson, because I'm working with a different client group now to what I have done in the past, and I am starting to see that actually there's much more value in what I'm producing than I've previously expected or considered. So I'm on a learning curve. So anyway, any more questions? I've been brought up on a superstition that pearls are unlucky, but as I get older, I'm starting to appreciate their beauty. Oh, right. Well, I've never had that association. I always had association with that they were a bit staid, old-fashioned. I grew up with that, but I also grew up seeing, because I associated them with my nan and black and white films and Audrey Hepburn, and it's only now I'm older that I can see them as style icons and not just as old people. And so my perception's changed. Plus, they were sort of brought back a little bit by Madonna, albeit very fake and plastic back then, wasn't it? The 80s really brought fake pearls and things like that. And Coco Chanel has brought them back in, Lady Gaga, all these people that sort of wear pearls in a more contemporary way, and juxtapose them as well in style. So their pearls are used now because they are considered elegant, classy, feminine, rich. People are pairing them for juxtaposition with, leathers and jeans, and wearing them in a much more casual way, almost to highlight the fact that it's controversial, it's clashes in terms of communicating a message. So I think that has brought them all in a bit more accessible to everybody. Obviously, now you can get very, very good quality pearls that have been farmed as well, which makes them more accessible and cheaper too. Thank you. You'll smash the talk, and good luck with the sales. Thanks, Sarah. If the prices are too low, people won't believe they're real. That's true, Marjorie. There's a saying, isn't there? Reassuringly expensive. And sometimes when you're looking for things, I'm like, I generally go for the middle. So I might find something at 80p and also at £5, but then I think, well, £5 is a bit steep, 80p is a bit cheap. So generally I go for the middle. So yeah, you think what's wrong with it? Unless it's exactly the same item, then I will always think, I'm not going to go for the cheapest. When I sell pearls, they usually go for between 80 to 110 for 8mm dyed pearls, like pink. Peacock, 50 to 80 for a pair of metallic fireball earrings. Well, that's really low. Fireball earrings at 50 to 80 pounds for a pair. It's something I think you kind of think, well, earrings should be less expensive than a pendant, right? But then, because you're thinking, you do it like that, you think, oh, it's a set, right? The necklace will be the most expensive, but actually, often the earrings have got more value in the gemstones than the pendant. There's two instead of one, so sometimes the earrings should be more expensive. But fireballs, really, they shouldn't be less than sort of sold at 60 to 80 pounds each. So for a pair of earrings, it's that people are getting a good deal there. Ask yourself, if a recognized designer had made the piece, what would they charge? That should benchmark the value of your make. It's true, Joe. It's true, but it's also untrue. So I was thinking about this. This is all part of my talk. We're having a good old chat today, aren't we? All part of the talk is like, when people see this necklace, like I will show examples of the similar necklace in, I don't know, in Harrods concession somewhere, and I will show it at £8,000 to £10,000 or whatever, and then I'll show the one that I'm selling for maybe £300 or £400, and I will ask them what they think the differences are. What are they paying for? Why is mine less valuable, or is it just less marketed? And that's the thing. So those companies, they're paying for marketing, they're paying for business rates, they're paying for lighting in the windows, they're paying for somebody to polish the pearls every day, they're paying for a beautiful gift box, they're paying for customer experience, that people are getting more for their money when they buy that, but they're spending a lot more money. You know, they're getting more in with that experience of purchasing, but they're not getting any more valuable pearls. The pearls, once they get home and they're sat in a jewelry box, and one day they get passed on to the next generation, you know, there's not going to be, the name will carry value. So if that's hallmarked or marked with a maker's name, then it's going to be more valuable, but not because the item is the individual components within that are more valuable. And so that's partly it. But you know, we can't underestimate how valuable it is to own a Chanel piece or a Mikimoto piece, because they have worked on building that reputation and entering those markets, and that does deserve a higher value. You know, it just does. You know, we don't all get to be Mikimoto or Coco Chanel, and there's a reason for it, because we haven't taken that route. So you know, it's okay that these things are more expensive. It's not a rip-off, I don't think. It's just, you either want that name or you don't mind. And you know, and if you don't mind, great, go and get it for several £1000s less. But also, you know, it probably won't appreciate in value in the same way as a Chanel piece will, or a Boucheron, or whatever. Gemma, sorry, I'm not saying you are not a recognized designer. You're one of the best I've seen. Oh, Joe, I'm totally not. I was not, didn't take any offense whatsoever. In fact, it didn't even occur to me. But yeah, you're right. A recognized, a brand name. You know, I'm certainly not a brand name. It does make the difference. Small fireball or metallic. Well, yeah, okay. And the superstition thing with pearls, you know, there's that thing with opals as well, isn't there? People were very superstitious about opals and didn't want to use opals in their jewelry for a long time. And I think I've heard several stories of where that comes from, and I can't recall the opal one now, but I know because opal it fades if it's not looked after very well. And I think the same with pearls. You know, pearls need to be looked after. They need to be cared for to keep the best quality. So I think maybe it's something to do with that. You know, pearls also associated with tears. But, you know, it depends on which legend you align with or you choose to go with, because, you know, pearls are also known as an aphrodisiac, for example. Like the oyster is an aphrodisiac, and pearls, when Cleopatra crushed the pearl down into her drink and drank it, it was then born the aphrodisiac, the ultimate aphrodisiac. Brides in some ancient cultures were given pearls on their wedding day to stop their tears, you know, to represent, you know, stopping their tears during their marriage, so that they don't cry during their marriage, almost like the tears are stored in the pearls. So maybe it's, you know, little connotations like that, which is where these things come from. I know how you feel about pearls. Yeah, you're not a pearl fan, are you, Mum? Even though it's your birthstone. So Mum's birthstone is pearl and moonstone, but Mum's definitely not a pearl fan. And it's certainly not the unusual pearls that I love. So, you know, I love the like the, you know, irregular pearls, Keshis, Biwas, Baroques. I love them. They're my favorite types of pearls. But Mum hates them. She says they look like teeth, and she just does not like them. So yeah, no, I know you're not a fan, Mum. Anyway, should we get some votes in? We're nattering away and I haven't got any votes from you for our mini make. So anybody want to? Oh, you're at Sarah. Where are you, Sarah Casey? I've got our quiz from from the first Creative Confidence course. Are you straight or wavy, rough or smooth? Spontaneity, space. Oh, look at that. Got loads of notes here. I wonder how did this little book, I told you it looked like it had been burgled in here the other day, and I think this book's just emerged. Right, I've got loads of votes coming in for next week. Gemstones organised in colour wheel. Oh, Sarah from Cambridge. Tiger, fearless, cuddly. This were my notes about you. Fearless and cuddly. Oh. Right. Let's find the right page. Right, what have we got then? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I've got 6 for Joe, an 8 for Tony, 4 for Mary, a 5 for Nikki, a 2 for Francis. Oh, spread out today. A 4 for Barbara, a 4 for Linda. Oh, 8 for Sarah, 4 for Linda, 4 for Marjorie. Bogner wants a 7. Right, okay, we'll keep them coming in. Do you want to know how I'm getting on with the evolution of my collection for Bishop Wilton? You fancy seeing how that's going? I had to put it on a bit of a... How have I been? Hi, Reese. Yeah, I've been all right. Lots of change. Moved up north. Bought a shop and a post office with my husband. Got married. I don't know if you know that, actually. Got married, which is nearly a year ago. Can you believe that? It's nearly a year. It'll be a year next month. Yeah, and now living life in Yorkshire. Okay, right. Let me try and put these in order so you can see the evolution of things. Right, it's still evolving. So my task this week, once I've now got everything prepared for next week and my workshops prepared for the week after, now this week is all about Bishop Wilton and Chalmers, because I got that too. Right, so here is, let's go from the beginning. Have I got the beginning? Right, so here was the initial sort of idea. So I talked to you a bit about that, and it's got the key, it's got the church. So this is the church, and these are the hills, but also it's a B, and if you flip it around, it's a W. So Bishop Wilton. The overall shape sort of represents a key. So like the keys to happiness, keys to success, keys to the village, keys to community. We are voting for your mystery mini make. So if you've never joined me before on a Monday, I have a box of, where is it? I have a box over here, and it's got 10 compartments in, and then I labelled 1 to 10, and whichever box gets the most votes, I open up and demonstrate whatever's in that box. So it's a mystery mini make. So feel free to join in and vote. So what have I got? I've got a Joe just said please, and I'm not sure. Is it number 2 you want, Joe? 2 for Joe. 1 for Linda. And 4 for Lynn. So thank you, Reese. Thank you. I feel very good today. I've been taking vitamins every day, and I think that's made a difference. Definitely. Okay, so that was the first. That was how it started. You know, I had to play with a few variations on it, but you know, all very similar. Then I thought, right, how am I going to incorporate the gemstone? So this one I tried to then do smaller, and then this one I added the gemstone in. So just added in, what have I got? I got peridot in there. But also I thought, well, maybe we make it a bit more curvy rather than straight. So I've now got it a bit more, turn my ring round, a bit more curvy down the edge, make it a bit more fluid. So yeah, so that's evolved that way. And then I thought, right, well, I can simplify it even further. So rather than putting it in a circle, how do I just create this motif that still works? So basically I've come to this at the moment. So this sort of, you can see all the key elements in there. So we've got the B, the W, the hills, the circle to one continuous line. I want it to be one line, just for continuity and to signify, you know, that sort of all-in-one sort of element. This little section here, this little loop here will hold the gem. So, and then I can see this working more into bracelet bars, things like that. This I can see more as bag charms, key rings, pendants, earrings. Yeah, this one maybe more sort of, this could also be a pendant. And I was also thinking, well, I've done it in this, also thinking, well, I could sort of put them together. So I could tessellate them in different ways as well, but just bring in that motif. So the key features are the church, the hills, which become the B and the W and represent the hills. And the continuity will be the peridot as the gemstone. That's really hitting the mark for your taste, that is. Oh, good. Well, I'm hoping I can do a few versions that, you know, that all have this sort of key motifs in it, but can accommodate different styles and different sort of designs. So there's this one here. This one was the original, but the church, I didn't want it facing that way. So I've put it that way. So these are how it's developing so far. So I just thought I'll keep you in touch with the journey so that you know I'm still on it. I'm still hoping to share that with you. And I need to have this collection, or at least the prototypes for all the pieces, really by the beginning of next week. So I don't have long to get that together. But yeah, it's nice. It's an interesting journey, this trying to work on a brief like this to fit a community and create a collection. So but I've really enjoyed the process and the thinking and the mulling it over and the considerations. So not just considering what looks good, what sells, what hits the mark, what meets the community need, but also considering my skills, my time, my equipment, my materials, what I can get hold of. There's so many things to factor in. So yeah, so it's a real challenge, but I've loved it. I've learned a lot, actually. Hello, Vintage Halloween Crafts by Clint. Hi. What Halloween crafts are you up to? Right, now that is really hitting. Oh, right, I've done all that. Right, let's see what votes we've got then. Oh, shall I just show you? Shall I show you what I got tonight for Chalmers? You want to see? You want to see? What have I got tonight? So, if you love Amazonite, you need to be in tonight. I have got Amazonite and Labradorite. So, here is one necklace. Can we get it to focus? So I've got a couple of different sizes of oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful, beautiful Amazonite. So that's the one necklace I'll be showing you. And then I also have the most gorgeous 1 millimeter. So imagine 1 millimeter. Sounds really difficult to work with, but actually it's not. And my eyes aren't great actually nowadays, but it's really not that hard. These are 1 millimeter tube turquoise. Let's see if I can get it to show you properly. Look at those. And I've done that with macrame. This is what I'll be demonstrating this evening. So if you would like to tune in this evening, 6 o'clock live on Instagram, I'll be demonstrating how to do this macrame bracelet, including how to finish it, how to end it. And that will be using the tiny 1mm tube beads, turquoise. They're absolutely extraordinary. They're so pretty. So there's that. And then there is this bracelet too, which there is a little video sort of showing how that's come together. That will be out on Charmers Gemm's YouTube, Instagram today, and I'll share it later into Mojo, Crow's Mojo on Facebook. So there's this bracelet too, nice and simple, just really framing and showcasing those gorgeous Amazonites. Got a few other bits and pieces as well, which are just over the way there. So some lovely rice beads, yeah, a few other bits and bobs. So hopefully you can join me tonight to see those and see the demos. Right then. So in terms of votes, thanks Nicola. You saw the video for that one yesterday. Spaces for the pearls. Oh, hit the mark. Yes, spaces for the pearls. Good thinking, Sarah. Why didn't I think of that one? That's because they're not mine. I couldn't use them. They're not mine. I suppose I could buy the demo one after I've used them tonight. That's a good idea. Turquoise and pearls, great mix. Yes, they would make great spaces for the pearls. You're absolutely right. Thank you for that. Right then. So our clear winner today is box number 7. So let's have a look what I put in box number 7 this week. I have had a little shifty around of these today. So 7. Aha! Little flowers. Gemstone flowers. So gemstone flowers that you can use however you like. Did I do these recently or did I do these? I don't know if I did these on. Let's do them. Gemstone flowers. Yeah. Did I do this recently, guys? For you? I don't think so. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right, we got my bag of scraps here. So see if I've got a piece long enough to do the flowers. Yeah, that'll do it, I reckon. And then I need some gemstones. So tell you what, I'm going to use the ones I need to use tonight. And just turn my light down to the table. Sorry. This is the least professional bit, isn't it? When I do all this stuff with the cameras. Just need one system really, but I just can't do it. Right, I'm going to just cover this up so that I don't make you dizzy when I turn it around. Nothing worse than seeing the room spinning around while I try and hook up the camera. Just see that's the right way. Yep. Tie it in. There we go. Right then. My little notepad with my things on. Okay. So this is what we're going to be doing. So you can see here I've made these little flowers as connectors, and they've gone into this pretty little delicate necklace. These are in the little white rice shaped gems. You can do this technique with any shape really. You can do it with rounds. Let me see what I've got handy. Let's see if we can do it with a few different shapes so you can see how it works. Right. Rummage in my little box of goodies. think I'll just take something apart instead of trying to find several things the same. And then I might use these. Okay, so we'll do it with the rice beads first so that you can see it exactly like this. And these are absolutely gorgeous. These are gems that I will have for sale this evening on Charmers Gems. So if you're interested, just to give you an idea, these are only £5.50 for this strand. So it's absolutely gorgeous strand of agates, and it'll be just £5.50. Right, where's that bit of wire? Okay, so let me see if I can just zoom this camera in a bit so that we can get a nice close look at what I'm up to. Let's zoom. The zoom seems to not work out. Oh, that's as far as it'll go. Right, and then I will focus. There. Apply. Okay, there we go. Right then. So we want 5 beads to create a 5-petal flower. And I'm going to use, you can use a 0.4mm wire for this, or you can, I've got a 0.6, that's just because of what I've grabbed out, and the drill hole's plenty big enough, but 0.4 is probably your best bet for creating these flowers. So first things first, I'm going to, the length of wire I've got here is about 40 centimeters, and that will be plenty. So first off, I'm going to thread one of my gemstones onto the wire and leaving a tail of about, what's that, about 5 centimeters to 2.5 inches ish. Okay, and then just bend that back behind the gemstone, along the back of the gemstone, and then take the 2 ends. Now, when I twist together, I always cross them first, okay, because then you're more likely to get a decent twist rather than a helter-skelter. So helter-skelter, where you get one wire going around the other, we want both wires to twist. So holding the wire and the bead, so pinch in like that, so you've got the wire still, take these 2 tails and give them a twist together. Now, 1 twist should be plenty, but you want the wire lined up ready for the next bead, so it might be that you have to do like a 1.5 twists to do that. What we don't want is too much space here. We don't want a big long line here, because then our petals will be you know, it'll have like a really open center. We want it quite tight centered. Okay, so then take the long end and thread on your next petal. Pop it down, and I always sort of try and line it up so that the space, so you can see how much space you've got just here. You want the similar space here. Now allow a little bit extra for the twisting, because that will make it a bit smaller. So about where that's about 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, we want probably about 4 millimeters distance, or just about 1 millimeter extra. Okay, hold that in place, then push that wire down behind the gemstone again, holding the wire and the gemstone just as before. Cross the wires over and then twist them together. 1.5 twists, or whatever it takes to get that wire back ready for the next. Okay, so don't worry about the position of the wires yet, we'll sort that out at the end. Then we pick up the next one, and we're just going to do the same thing for all 5. Okay, so leave a bit of space, hold it in place, take the wire down the back, cross the wires over, and then hold and twist, and the same again. Keep going until we've got all 5 petals on. Like so. last one. And it gets all bunched up, so it gets a bit more tricky to do that twisting as you get to the last one. Okay, so we've got all 5 on, and you can see now that I've managed to keep all of my lines, of the metal now to the back. So just manipulate these, twist or untwist, just to get the lines all at the back. To be fair, they look quite attractive, don't they? So you could use that as a front if you wanted to, but I'm going to use this side. Now also what we've got here is it's in a line, so there's a bit of a gap there. So there's the last petal and the first petal. So we need to bring these in together. So just take that the end of the wire, and just take it over the top of the first petal. So the wire from the last one over the top of the first one, and then bring it round the back like that. Okay, so that's now cinched that together as one flower. So then we want to put a center on. So just choose a bead for your center. Let's see what I've got handy in here. Oh, that'll do. It's a silver. I've got a silver bead. So thread that on. So pick whatever fits the center of your gemstone, thread it on, and then just take that over the top again, and just take the wire down behind, and that just sits in the center of that there. Okay, so then if you want to put this as a connector, what you will need to do is take, what I generally do is take the wire back through one of the gems. So it might be it might not work with this 0.6 wire because the drill hole might not be big enough. We might be lucky. This is why 0.4 is probably better. Take that up through. It is nearly there. It's going to do it. It's going to be tight, but it's going to do it. Oh. Okay, so that's one wire. And then the other one up through another petal. Now remember, because these are 5 petal flowers, it's not going to be directly opposite, but actually with this one you can see I've got 2 loose petals at the bottom, one at the top, and it just actually allows the flowers to sit just slightly below the neckline flow, which is nice, works really well. So, but if you did want them to sit evenly, almost like a daisy chain, then you would probably want to put an even number of petals on, like 6 or even 8. So let's see, is this going to go up through? It might not. I didn't think this through, did I? Come on. Oh, so close. Yeah, got it. Well, there you go. That's just proving what good size drill holes these have got. So that's 2 0.6 mil wires going through there. So that's a 1.2 mil drill hole at least, which is great, isn't it? Okay, so now I've got wires each side. I can turn these into connectors. So basically just going to do a wrapped loop. Just take my round nose pliers, pop them onto the wire like that, and just kink the wire off to the side. I always do this to get me started, to make sure my loop stays central, and then turn the loop. So, and then just manipulate it so that loop is central on that stem, and then use that little stem as the neck to wrap around like so. Okay, so just as many wraps as you need to fill that space. So for me that was 3. That makes it nice and neat, and I can trim that off. And on this side I've got less wire to work with here, so that might be a consideration for you actually. It's plenty, but it's just harder to work with short lengths of wire. So same on this side. 2. And I'm going to try and keep the number of wraps the same, even though I've got less wire to work with, just so that it looks consistent. Both sides. There we go. Just going to give that a pinch. And then trim. There we go. So there we go, a little flower connector. And remember, if you wanted it as a pendant, you just do one loop and you can have it hanging like that. Or if you want it to be connected into a chain, as this one is, then you can do the 2. Now you can scale this up or down as well. So if you want to use bigger petals, fine, you can, make bigger flowers, smaller ones, teeny tiny ones. You can even do this with like little rice beads. There's just scale down your wire as well. That's all you'll need to do. Okay, so that's how it looks with the rice beads. So if I show you what it looks like with rounds, you might want to do it with rounds. I'll just take this apart. This is obviously a bit of X demo. See how I can. What's a nice little amethyst here. You look at it and you think, how did I bead that? Oh yeah. Just that standard ladder weave. Let's just get 5 little amethysts and 1 for the middle. There we go. 6 beads. 5 petals, 1 center. So we'll do it again. Let me find some 0.4 this time. I am trying to be good and use all my scraps. Is that enough? Probably not. Look at this. It's terrible, isn't it? And they're all mixed up and muddled up. That's not long enough either. I really don't want to have to cut any off my reel. I'm trying to be better at using things up. Oh, this looks promising. A longer. I reckon I might be able to do it with that. It's about 30 centimeters. I think we'll get away with it. Okay. So let's do this one as an earring. So we just have 1 connection point. Okay, so the same principle. Take the first one down, leave a tail on the end, take the wire down the back of the gemstone. They're a bit fiddlier, these, because they're harder to hold on to. So again, I've crossed them over and then I'm going to twist. You might need a few more twists with rounds because they haven't got that sort of narrowed edge. They might, if you do them too close together, they might bunch up too much and you won't get that spread out flower shape. Okay, so we'll start with 2 twists. We might have to put more in. Okay, so put the next one on. Again, put it down roughly the same length, a little bit more to allow for the twist. Bend the wire down the back. This time it's difficult to cross them over because it's really close together. So just hold them at the base and twist. Okay, and the next one. Hold it at the base. Double it back. Twist. Much trickier with the rounds. And small as well, aren't they? So much trickier. That's the 4th one. Grab and twist. And then put the twist in that one. That's come loose. And the next one comes in. How have I ended up with a oh, there we go. I wondered how that had ended up not being at the end. It's because it gone twisted in on itself. So just keep an eye on it. Make sure you're going in the right order. Last one for the petals. Put that one down. Take the wire down the back and give it a twist. Okay, so you can see they're all together. I'm just going to put an extra twist on this one because it's sort of come a bit loose. All the wires are on the back of the petals. When I flip it over, we should just see the gemstones. Very pretty. And then again, the two ends we need to sort of bring in together. So just take the last and the first and just sort of, you know, wrap them in so that they're together. All right then. So now we can put the center on. So there's our 5 petals. I'm just going to pop the gemstone onto there and sit it in the middle. Like that. Probably better if you had a contrast in gemstone so that it looks a bit more flower-like. They didn't seem to be sitting quite right, did they? Let's fiddle with it a bit more. And I'm going to put a contrast one on so that we can see, otherwise it just looks a bit silly. So let's see if I can find a little contrast. There we go. A darker amethyst, that'll do. So if you find they're not sitting properly, like these aren't quite sitting evenly, just have a little play with the twists and see if all your twists are even. You might have one that's slightly longer, so try and twist it in. If you twist it, it will shorten the stem from the middle. So just have a little play with it until you get it even. I think I'm probably there now. Then let's get that center one. I find something that contrasts, so it should look a bit better now. Lay that over the middle. There we go. That's better, isn't it? And then that's quite cute. So let's make this into an earring. So I'm going to take one of the wires, or a pendant or a charm, one of the wires, take it up through one of your beads. There we go. Pull that up through. Okay, now if you wanted to use this as a charm, you might be, or a pendant, you might be thinking, well, if it flips over, it's a bit ugly. So what you could do is put another center bead on the back. So then, you know, at least if it flips over, it's just a different version of a flower. So you'll still see, on the back, you'll see the copper lines, but that might look okay. Let's see if I can find another one to show you what I mean. Find on the phone. I do love the bead scoop, but when you're trying to find things to match, it doesn't really work. Right, that one. Okay. So set that centrally. Across the back. Now then, if it flips over, at least you've got something that resembles it on both sides. So that's just sat in there and there. But the only thing with that is it won't sit flat. So, you know, it's something to consider. If you want it to be seen from both sides, then you might want to put a back on it. But if not, then, you know, there's no need. And then we can make a little wrap loop with that one there. Take the wire around. Just be careful not to cut the wrong wire. I nearly cut that wire then. Okay, so there's your little flower. and it's got that one on the back just in case it flips over and you don't want to see just an empty space at the back. So there's with rounds as well, so it works, and you can use petal shapes, whatever you need. And if you wanted to, you can take the wire and embellish or wrap the center. So I'm just using what's left over of my 0.4 wire to go around that center bead. Just keep an eye that it's not coming up over the top too much. Make sure. Okay, and then once you're happy, you can just tie the wire off around the petals. There's no rhyme or reason to this, it's just securing the wire and then get rid of the end when you're done. So I've wrapped it around there a few times, it's not going to come loose. Poke the ends in, then you can have that center framed then as well. All right, so there's a couple of ways of using the same technique to create flowers. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. Oh, see you later, Mary. Sorry I haven't looked at my comments. I have to go to work. Best of all. So, see you, Bogner. Hope you have a nice day at work. I'm glad you like it, Barbara. Oh, thanks, Reese. The best jewellery person. I'll take it. Thank you. You saw the video for that one yesterday. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, not for this one. Thank you. That was awesome. Oh, good. I'm glad. I hope you can use it. I hope you can use it. Even if you're just making them as elements that then attach into other things, like, for example, this is a show I got coming up on Charmers. I'm using these gorgeous clover shapes. So you can, like when you're doing like a woven vine like this, or a bridal vine or something like that, you can make lots of these little flowers up, leave the tails on, and then you can stitch them into vines. And that's a nice way of using this type of flower as well. Can you imagine those just dotted along, obviously a bit smaller, or make your vine a bit bigger, but yeah, they can attach in really prettily without, you don't have to use loops. You can just literally just use the wires from the back, stitch them in with the wires. But yeah, this one is a work in progress, so keep an eye out for that. It'll probably be next Monday I'll bring this one to you. Okay, right, I need a swig of my drink, and then I'll put the camera back. Let's just change the settings again, otherwise I'll be in super close up when I move you. Go back to auto, camera controls, take my zoom back on autofocus, and apply, and then I will move this. Right, so I'm going to put my hand over the lens again so I don't make you dizzy. I'm back. I'll take that off so I can see you. There you go. Oh, that's better. Right then. So I hope, yeah, they would make pretty earrings. I'm glad that's a good idea for you, Marjorie. Hope you can use it. Hope you find it useful. If you do make anything with any of the mini Mojos, mystery makes, then please pop them in Crow's Mojo so that I can see, and encourage other people to come and see us on a Monday and join in with the chatter. Thank you for listening to me going on for ages this morning. Hopefully it was a two-way thing, and we got to, you got something from all the things I was going on about with the pearls and the, what else did I tell you about? All sorts of stuff, wasn't it? With the using the silver and craft fair makes, etc. I hope it was beneficial to you. It's been lovely nattering with you today. Sylvia, yes. That's the first time I've seen you in, Sylv. Hope you're okay. I'll see you tonight. Yes. Okay. Right. Well, I'll see you tonight, everybody. Have a lovely rest of the day. If I don't see you tonight, I'll see you next Monday for Monday Mojo, and I'll keep you posted with any of my Bishop Wilton designs and anything I'm up to like that. Okay, and I might post a few pictures of some of the things I've been making over the weekend, so that maybe you can make some similar things for your fairs coming up. Right, see you later, Mum. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.